Firmino came on and he certainly had his eye in for Liverpool as he scored the winning goal as they beat Paris Saint-Germain by 3-2 at Anfield. There is the table as Liverpool top at the other match between Red Star Belgrade and Napoli finished in a draw, and Liverpool are away to Napoli next. PSG welcome Red Star Belgrade to Paris. Damien, Firmino, the hero with the late goal, they thoroughly deserved the victory though, didn't they? It looked like it wasn't going to come. Yeah,
absolutely, Dara. They will have been kicking themselves if it finished 2-2. Here's the goal here, Mbappe trying to break, a bit like Salah for the Paris' second goal, but unbelievable, feat from Firmino. At the same time, you'd have to say awful defending for Marquinhos. There you go, Mbappe edge of his box. But the feet, like I said, from Firmino, that little chop, Marquinhos doesn't even lay a hand on him, ends up turning. And like all great strikers, expect to get your shot off through the legs, and the keeper doesn't see it at all. But like I said, thoroughly deserved. Paris, like I said, they're not used to playing this tempo, this speed. It just seemed a shock to them from start to finish. Yeah, they had little spells without really ever upping their own tempo. And like I said before the game, for me, this is why they won't win the Champions League. They're just a team of individuals, and the individuals, granted, can hurt you, like Mbappe and Neymar, but they won't go anywhere close, whereas Liverpool, I think, to be there and thereabouts in the knockout stages again this year.
Yeah, there was at the end of that celebration from Klopp a rather curious shot of Salah. That was him actually watching the goal celebration, and he threw the water bottle to the ground. Make of that whatever you will. Richard, we're going to look at the goal that looked for a long time, well, for 7 minutes or 8 minutes, as if it had got PSG a point. Mbappe's goal, Salah's mistake.
Yeah, Salah was looking tired at this stage. You give the ball away rather easily, and then what Damien was saying about individual brilliance, they have it. Neymar, what he wants to do is direct straight at the middle of Liverpool's defence. I thought Van Dijk probably could have been stronger in his tackle, but when it fell to Mbappe, you sensed he was just going to stick it away. It's 12 yards out, and it was a cool finish into the corner. And I think that's what they were waiting for in the second half. They knew Liverpool would press and press and press, but they wait for these opportunities to score the goals, to take them moments of quality. And for me, I think Liverpool played it safe and let PSG in the game, and then as soon as they needed goals, they scored again. Liverpool, PSG, I thought were poor tonight. Yeah. They have their moments of quality, but in general, I thought mentality, defensively, everything, they thought they were really poor. Yeah,
and I think Ray made the comment in commentary, and you guys had the same view here, that there was no intensity from them at various times during the match. Sure, they got it back to 2-2, but the type of intensity that you're going to need to beat a side like Liverpool just wasn't there for long periods.
No, they haven't got it. They haven't got it in their makeup. I don't think they've had it since they've built this team over the last 6 or 7 years, but they've never had that sort of player. I think the manager that they've brought in is a manager who likes to play a high pressing game. They haven't got them type of players, and it just seemed to me like Liverpool could have scored at any given time today. If PSG stepped up, Liverpool would have taken advantage of the gaps that they leave in different parts of the field. And for all they've achieved, I think they've won 20 trophies since they've been taken over domestically. They still look as far away as ever from winning the Champions League, whereas Liverpool, you've seen the progress over the last 3 or 4 years. They've got a real side now who can compete, and they've probably not bought that one superstar like Mbappe or Neymar, but they've built the team in this period.
Michael, they got to the final last year, which was a fabulous achievement. Sure, Liverpool would have liked to win it, but when you see the other pieces that have been added in, can they go that one step further? Can they get back to the final at the very least?
Yeah, certainly they're going to be in the mix, I think, based on tonight. Where Liverpool, and this is the difference for me, as Richard talked about the players, Liverpool signed players that will fit into how they want to play. We talked about Naby Keita, who didn't play tonight, but Klopp put real running power in his midfield. We were concerned a little bit whether they'd be able to keep the ball. The 3 midfield players were terrific, and they have a real belief. Like in the game tonight, Paris offered so little. Neymar and Mbappe were really poor defensively. Andy Robertson and Trent Arnold put umpteen crosses in the box. They gave them nothing defensively on that side of the game. And I think this Liverpool team is going to continue to grow and get better. The biggest fear I would have is there enough depth in the squad? When they get deep into the Premier League and they're fighting in that front, when they get to the latter stages of the Champions League, and that, will they be able to have enough to compete in the two fronts?
I want to get your view, Michael, on the goal that was disallowed for the foul by Sturridge. It looked as if Salah, well, the referee seemed to give it first of all.
It's a good example here. It breaks the Sturridge. It's a really poor touch, to be fair. First of all, it's a very poor touch by him, you'll see. And he gets a little bit of the ball, but listen, we don't need to elaborate. It's a sore one. And but it's excessive force for me, and it's the right decision. We'll see it back here. You know, the official behind the goal, they're much maligned, but you know, I've witnessed the communication in this many times with UEFA, and he will be telling the referee exactly what happened, and it's the official behind the goal that will have given that decision.
When we were watching this, Michael, you were saying he can't, the additional assistant can't signal to the referee with an arm signal or whatever, but he has this little magic wand and he's communicating with him, or getting his attention that way.
The little thing that he has in his hand with a little stick alerts the referee's arm. Okay. There's like a little pad, it buzzes, and I think the referee feels it, and then there's communication between the two. So when you hear that dialogue, they actually do a lot more. They make a lot of decisions in the penalty box. There'll be, you know, no penalty, or penalty. But because they don't gesture, everyone tends to think that they do nothing, but they do a lot more than we give them credit for. Or you give them credit for.
Well, look, you know, but okay. Well, Liverpool fans won't be happy with the way it worked, because it did, and that was the right call, Richard. Yeah, it was a foul by Sturridge.
It was a foul, yeah. Michael said his first touch was poor. And Michael, or Daniel Sturridge, who's playing regularly, probably would have taken it first time. But it was certainly a foul. But it's just the lack of movement by the assistant official that makes everyone question why they're there. But then the insight from Michael that they do speak and they do give out the information, I suppose, clears that one up. Yeah,
and well, there is a possibility that later in this competition that VAR could come in. Semi-final and final is what has been discussed. And, you know, we looked at the goal in the first half, the Cavani offside, where if VAR had been there, Damien, the PSG goal from the first half wouldn't have stood.
It's a bizarre one. You know, there's too much at stake now for me. And after being a supposed success at the World Cup now, it's interesting to understand why it's not in the Champions League, but there is talk that they might bring it in the quarter-final, semi-final stage. So, yeah, we'll see. But listen, we've all agreed, I think, in the past that it will end up in the game.
OK.